What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Let's talk about JOYCE Jarrell Miller for a few minutes. JOYCE in the last few days or so has called out a number of fighters, called out Alexander Povetkin, said he would like to fight the winner of Hunter Kuzman, and also called out Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller is serving a ban at the moment, a pathetic ban which ends, I think, in about 10 days time or something, and then obviously he can reapply for his license. Jarrell Miller responded to the call out, made an Instagram live video and said he'll happily fight JOYCE, that Frank Warren to send the contract over, and I think he even called him an English muffin, something he called AJ in the build up to that fight quite a lot. If you guys follow me on Twitter, and you should follow me on Twitter, please, I was very vocal about this. I said that we shouldn't even be counting the days that Jarrell Miller returns, that Jarrell Miller should be banned for life, I think, and that he shouldn't get the JOYCE fight. That's what I feel personally. I fully understand how it works in the real world, or the boxing world at least. Jarrell Miller will apply for his license or reapply for his license. He will get that and he will fight again, right? He's a name, people know him, he will get a big fight. That big fight could be JOYCE. I just feel like I wanted an example to be made of somebody, some fucking body. And I thought this was a great opportunity for all the governing bodies to make an example of someone and ban this guy for a really, really long time. But that isn't happening. Someone even asked me on Twitter, do I hate Jarrell Miller? Because I've been very vocal about Jarrell Miller, I have to be honest with you. Someone asked me, do I hate him? No, not at all. I don't hate him. I mean, look, he cheated in a sport that I really like, a sport that I think is really dangerous, a sport that in the last few months, we've seen 2 people die in the ring, right? So it's a very, very dangerous sport. And I think he cheated in such a dangerous sport that I want him to be banned for a long time, just so anyone else that's even thinking, anyone else at the top level that's even thinking of taking a performance-enhancing drug will not think about doing it, because they'll look at Jarrell Miller and think, fuck me, we can't be out of the ring for 4 or 5 years. So it isn't that I hate Jarrell Miller, it's just I hate what's happened. I hate that he's only been banned for 6 months. I hate the fact that he will get big money when he comes back because he's a name. And I just don't like the fact that other sports that aren't nowhere near dangerous, which are almost sort of easy sports, so to speak, people get banned for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years for taking what Jarrell Miller took. And I just don't understand how boxing, which again, we're talking about one of the most dangerous sports in the world, is so lenient to people that take performance-enhancing drugs. So no, I do not hate him. I mean, in the grand schemes of things and what all goes on in the world, I mean, taking performance-enhancing drugs isn't the biggest thing in the world. So definitely don't hate him. Someone also said, but you like AJ. I was like, yeah, explain. Oh, but AJ is the Lance Armstrong of drug cheats. I mean, that could be the case. I mean, I'm an AJ fan, but that could be the case. But let's deal with the ones we're catching first, right? Let's deal with those ones, and then we can work on the others. And the ones that we're catching, nothing's happening. So, I mean, the ones that we're not even catching, ain't going to happen, is it? So let's, with all that being said, let me look at the fight from a standpoint of it's going to happen, and they shut the fuck up, stop moaning, right? That's what's going to happen. It's a great matchup, right? It's a matchup that makes sense, especially for JOYCE. JOYCE is coming off the Bryant Jennings win, and I think he needs now to take another step up. And I think the names he's called out are that step up. Winner of Hunter Kuzman is that step up. Povetkin is that step up, and so is Jarrell Miller. Again, it burns me to even talk about this, man, but let's do it just for the sake of the fact that we know what's going to happen, right? I think JOYCE obviously wants to go into that kind of top 5 call out, right? So Joshua, Wilder, Fury, Ruiz, maybe Usyk and Dillian White, but he's not there yet. And I think this stepping stone gets him there. And for Jarrell Miller, it's an opportunity to A, get a big win. It will be a big win. If he were to beat JOYCE, it'll be his biggest win, right? It will be. I mean, for as much as he talks, he hasn't really beaten anyone. There's no one on the resume. And if the fight was in the UK, I mean, Frank Warren will chuck it on pay-per-view. I believe it will be a pay-per-view fight on BT Sports box office. I mean, fucking hell, they're putting Fury versus Otto Wallin on pay-per-view. They will chuck this one on pay-per-view. So he's in line to make high six figures, maybe even seven figures. I mean, what a punishment, eh? What a fucking punishment. I mean, get banned for 6 months and come back and potentially you could make $1 million. Interesting. But yeah, I just, you know what it is? I fully understand how it works. I know some people think, Adi, you moan a lot. I fully understand how it works. I would just like boxing to catch up to all these other sports that introduce harsher bans. And I'm not talking about NFL. I mean, they don't fucking do anything. Or even football. I'm talking about athletics, cycling, you know, those type of sports, right? What do you guys make of the fight, Jarrell Miller versus Joe Joyce? Joe Joyce needs to fight someone that talks a lot, right? He needs to fight someone that can boost his profile. Because, I mean, Joe Joyce, Brighton Jennings was fucking snorefest. The interviews were snorefest. The press conference was a snorefest. He actually might need somebody that can help him a bit, right? Help him promote a fight. And Jarrell Miller will do that for free. So his manager, Sam Jones, will be begging for this opportunity. So will Frank Warren. And so will Joe Joyce. It's a perfect fight for them. It's a perfect fight for Jarrell Miller. I just hope he doesn't get it. I just hope that he has to fight a few nobodies first, right? And make a couple of 100,000, then get what kind of is a biggish fight. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.